Yes, you watching me, you need therapy. Life is a teacher. Learn from life. Learn. Hey besties, if you followed my horror stories, you would know that I went through difficulties for a prolonged period of time. Now, these 10 tips helped me, and I hope it helps you if you're going through something difficult. Now, the first thing is therapy. I cannot even start or end this conversation without talking about therapy. Prior to 2 years ago, I was not conversant with therapy. I always felt people that are going for therapy are people that have problems. Like when they say you need therapy, that means you have a huge problem and you need therapy. Obviously, after starting therapy, I feel every single person needs therapy. Yes, you watching me, you need therapy. I was doing therapy before this issue happened, and when this issue happened, therapy was that thing that really sustained me, really helped my mental health. Just having a professional that I could literally be vulnerable and talk about my trauma was a bliss. Because sometimes, as much as we have friends and we definitely need friends, there is a limit to what you can tell friends, or there's a limit to how you can dump on friends, because people will tell you, oh, you can tell me anything, a friend in need is a friend indeed. But the thing is that, yes, you tell the friend once, you tell the friend twice, third time, fourth time, they have their own problems, and not because they are not good friends, but because they actually have their own problems. And not only that, there is a limit to the way you even want to traumatize your own friends in comparison to a professional, because a therapist is a professional, so they are trained for the job. You can literally tell them your trauma without being scared that they would be impacted by it. Obviously, even therapists have therapists, that's the truth, but at the very least, it's a professional you are talking to. So that was such a safe space for me. I never missed a week of therapy because it was very important. Now, obviously, therapy is not cheap, it's expensive, but for me, the way I see things, it's a matter of priority. So what are your priorities? Because some people will say they don't want to pay for therapy, but they can use that money to go for maybe a vacation or go and buy clothes. See, it's because that's where your priority is in. Where you have your priority, that shows where your money flows through. Whilst therapy can be relatively expensive, the cost of my mental health is just worth it. So that's it for me. It's a worthy investment. Now, the second thing I did that helped me, that could help you, is journaling. OMG. When you learn to journal, a lot of times you would learn to shush and stop oversharing, especially to the wrong people. The reason why a lot of people know your business is just because you do not even know how to journal. And journaling is literally you talking to yourself. A lot of decisions you need to make, a lot of questions you have, you know the answers. Yes, you do. There is no one coming to save you. You actually know the answers, but it's because you would rather seek validation from other people than sit your ass down, write about your thoughts, and actually get the answers yourself. Journaling taught me that, see, I am Adaeze Osadebe. I cannot be stuck. When I was going through the issues I went through, by the way, if you've not watched it, I could link it up for you to watch. But when I was going through that, I was in a state where I was feeling really stuck. Like, wow, there is no exit, there's no road here. What am I going to do with my life? And it was that feeling of, oh my God, you have to go back to Nigeria. You have to do this. You have lost this. You have lost that. But journaling helped me ground myself into the present. It helped me realize that, see, baby, you are fine. All things will work together for your good. Even if that all things would mean you going back to Nigeria, it will work for you. So I feel journaling helps you. When you are going through difficult times, most times you're not going to see like the positive things because you are in that rut, you're feeling stuck. But you need to come out of that state and be in that abundance mentality. And I feel journaling can do it for you. It did it for me. Like writing out my thoughts, writing out my fears, the anxiety I felt made me realize that, see, you can never be stuck. And you see, once you start feeling stuck, you start feeling like, there is no road, it places you in a very low vibration. It just lowers your vibe, it lowers your frequency, and it sets you up for failure. It really does. Journaling also helped me practice detachment. A lot of us are too attached to things that don't even serve us. We are too attached to people that don't even serve us. Journaling made me realize that what is really important. For instance, in my last horror story video, I mentioned that I do not know what the way forward would be about social work, and for now I'm taking a break. Now, on a normal day, I would never even say anything like that, because I will first think that, first of all, I've spent close to £30,000 to study social work. So, no, you must complete it. Why would you want to take a break? No, you must still do it, even at the detriment of my mental health. But journaling helped me detach. It helped me realize that, see, you have to be full first before you pour to others. You have to feel good from within before you are able to even give value or dispense the awesomeness that you have within. And it helped me first detach from even wanting to be a social worker. Obviously, now I am, thank God. But it helped me realize that even if you are not, you would not die. It's not going to be the end of the world. It really helped me. It also helped me detach from the concept of being in the UK, because it now gave me lots of options that, wait though, it's not the end of the world. It is not. You can be watching me right now and maybe you are at the brink of maybe losing your status as a legal migrant. See, whatever the case is, whatever your challenge is, I promise you, it is not the end of the world. Start journaling. You realize that there is abundance. You would realize your own self-limiting beliefs, because a lot of times we really operate in scarcity. We operate in the confines of our own limitation, and we've just put ourselves in a box. But the truth is, you really don't know how your life is going to pan out. A lot of people that are successful today, they did the work, but they did not even know how they would pan out successful, or even if they knew, the way it turned out is very different from how they imagined. Sometimes we have limited imaginations, but journaling helped me break out. The third thing that helped me is meditating. Now, meditation is something that I feel has had a very bad hype, where people just say it as a buzzword, and a lot of people don't even know what it entails. A lot of people want to like make meditation this super hard thing. To meditate is just to be aware of your breath. It's just to be present. That is it. Once you are aware of your breathing, you are meditating. We can even meditate right now. It is very easy. And one thing about meditation is that there is no wrong way to meditate. However you can meditate, you can meditate. So for us to meditate right now, I'll just say sit down where you are. If you're seated, if you're standing, still stand. Just stay in a very comfortable position and think about how you're feeling right now. On a scale of 0 to 10, how do you feel? 0 being you feel really bad, 10 being you feel really good. Now, don't overthink that number. Whatever number it is, just hold it. Now, breathe in consciously. You're conscious that you are breathing in. Then consciously breathe out. Do it like 5 times. Then ask yourself, how do you feel right now? With that scale rating of 0 to 10, how do you feel right now? Now, the goal is for you to feel higher than you felt before you started meditating. So if you've not attained, at least even if it's 1 level increase, if you've not attained it, you can do it all over again. And that is the simple way I meditate. Most times I meditate in the morning when I just wake up. After I have journaled, I meditate, and it helps me. As I said, there is no wrong way. If you've tried this meditation, let me know in the comment section. There are also other forms. Some people do this counting exercise where they count from 0 to 100. Now, the thing about meditating is that you are present, like you are conscious of your breath. Because a lot of times you just breathe in and out, but not conscious. But meditation places you in that state, which makes you relax, especially if you have issues with anxiety or panic attacks. It just grounds you. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comment section. Now that we are still in this meditative state, please help me hit the like button if you are enjoying this video. Now let's move over to the next point, which is practicing my love language on myself. If you're not familiar with the 5 love languages, I think you should read this book by Gary Chapman, where you will learn about love languages. For me, I'm a blend of a lot of love languages, but my predominant love language is receiving gifts. The next is words of affirmation. For me, that period, I bought some things for myself. Now, this is different from you doing retail shopping where you just go and blow up your money because you're in a bad mental state. That's not it at all. But this is being intentional to say, okay, you've been through a lot. What do you want to get for yourself? And that was just me buying some things. For me, it involved me buying like books because I really enjoy reading. So I bought things like that, just things that fill my cup. Also, in practicing my love language, I did a lot of affirmations. When you are in a low state, you need anything that can pick you up. And for me, affirming myself just did it. Like me telling myself, Ada, you are wonderful. Ada, you are not stuck. Ada, you are not stranded. Ada, God is with you. And most times in the morning, I look at myself in the mirror and I just tell myself these beautiful things. I affirm myself because when you are going through challenges, you have no idea how much it affects your self-esteem. You have no idea. Most times it's after the fact you realize that, wow, this actually impacted me. But I did not want that for myself. I wanted to be well equipped so that when I leave that zone, because I already knew that challenges will never finish. Like, I knew that it will not last forever. So I didn't want to reach the stage where it's after the challenge that I'm so battered, I'm so emotionally down. No, you can help yourself. So I did that. Something else I did was to create a WhatsApp group for myself. I was the only one in the group, and I called it Words of Affirmation. So in that group, I would be saying lots of beautiful things about myself. And most times when I'm feeling down, I'll just plug in my earpiece and listen to the beautiful statements I've made to myself. A lot of times we use our mouth to say wrong things to ourselves, but it's important to give yourself a lot of grace. It is important for you to affirm yourself, for you to remind yourself of who you are, especially if you're going through a difficult situation. Which links me to my 5th point, which is talking to loved ones. We cannot do life alone, and I know some of us are very independent and hyper dependent. Even for me, I struggle to talk to people that I love about things that I was going through. I know that for some people it's very easy. They will just gladly tell the whole world their problems. For some other people like us, it's not as easy, but having, even if it is one person in your corner that you can be vulnerable with, that's enough. Like, you don't have to have the whole world. Literally, you don't. If it's one person, if it's 2 people, that is fine. And thankfully, I had that in my corner. I was able to like share with these people, and they were very helpful. 6th thing to do is do things you genuinely enjoy. Now, when you are in a difficult situation, your vibration is already low. You cannot afford to do anything that would make you even feel worse than you already feel. So you should do things that actually fill your cup. If you have hobbies, that is the time to start doing those hobbies. For me, I struggled at first because when you are feeling sad, sometimes you just want to stay in that state. But to carry yourself, bring yourself out of that state, you have to practice doing things you enjoy doing. One of the things I enjoyed doing was filming YouTube videos. I realized that after I put on the camera and I filmed, I had that sense of fulfillment, which really helped me. Speaking of that, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please, what are you waiting for? Come on now, subscribe and even hit the bell notification if you've not done so already. Now, moving on to the 7th point. This one is a bit controversial, but it's what worked for me, and that is isolating. Now, it's controversial, and if you don't understand it, you would think it's even contradictory to the part where I talked about speaking to loved ones. Now, when I said isolating, for me, it involved taking breaks. That period, I took a lot of breaks off social media. I took a lot of breaks off some people. I reduced the stressors in my life, because when you are feeling down, the last thing you want to do is to expose yourself to things that will trigger you and even make you feel worse. So isolating to me involved letting my loved ones know that yes, I'm going through stuff and I may not be as active as I would ordinarily be. It also involved me, obviously, as I said, taking a break off social media for some periods of time. Sometimes it could just be 3 days off, 5 days off. I also found that taking a break off some apps really helped, because when you are feeling down, the last thing you want to do is to go on social media and you're seeing everybody living their best lives and you're feeling really sad. That's why I would always say you cannot pour from an empty cup. Take a break, and that's what I did for myself. I also reduced the stressors in my life. In fact, that period then, my block, unfollow and mute button were very active. They still are, because some people just want to stress your life, and me, I don't even have that time. Once you just give me any vibe that you stress me, I cut you loose, because I don't have that time. When you are literally hanging on a thread, the last thing you want to do is to be resolving quarrel with this person, with that person. That was just not it. Now, the 8th thing I did was to read. This really helped me. People don't realize that when you read, you are literally buying the author's experiences and you're gaining more knowledge for yourself. For me, that period, I really read a lot of self-development books, like a lot of books on attitude, on gratitude, just things like that, and that raised my vibration. Towards the end of this video, I'm going to link up a video I made about the books that I enjoyed, that I feel changed my life in 2023. Now, the 9th tip is practice gratitude. Stop complaining. A lot of us just complain way too much. Let me show you something. If you're an OG on this channel, you would know my gratitude jar. I have a jar, and in this contains things that I'm grateful for at the end of each day. In fact, if you follow me on Instagram, you would know about my gratitude jar, because before I sleep, I write things I'm grateful for in each day. And when you are grateful, you cannot be complaining. And even when you're going through difficult times, it can be difficult to see the good. It can be difficult to be grateful. But that you're alive, that's enough. Because there are some days that I did not have a reason to be grateful. Like there was nothing. I just wrote, thank you, God, I'm alive. That's it. Speaking of God, which is the last thing that helped me, is talking to God. Realizing that, see, oh God, I am your priceless baby. You cannot let me go stranded like this. Really helped me. And regarding talking to God or praying, one thing I had to tell myself each time was that, see, God loves me more than I love myself. And if you know me, you would know that I love myself. So God actually loves me even way more. In fact, the way I love myself cannot be quantified with the way God loves me. He cannot let me down. So sometimes we have very small vision about what's going on in our lives, and when we have challenges, we cannot understand, like, why are we having those challenges? I may not even have the answers to questions like that, but see, all things, I said it in my last video, all things would always work together for the good of them that love God and are called according to his will. So besties, that's it about the 10 tips that helped me. Let me know if any of these tips resonated with you. And as I said earlier, I'm leaving a video that would greatly help you if you're struggling with knowing which book to start reading that would help your life. Now, if you want an updated list of the books, you can just let me know and I'll be sure to film that video just for you. Lastly, something else I want you to know is that life is always teaching you something, good or bad. So if you're going through a bad situation, trust me, life is a teacher. Learn from life. Learn. Don't leave a situation without getting lessons from it. No, you are not a failure. You are just a learner. When you fail at something, learn from that thing. Because if you don't learn that lesson, life will teach you again. And that's not a cause. If you're observant, you will notice that a lot of times there are some patterns. And if you don't learn, that's when patterns get repeated. So besties, I hope we learn more from life, and I hope you've learned from this video, and I'm going to see you besties in my next one. Until I see you again, stay blessed, remain happy, and bye besties.